Welcome to Lunchtime Chats.
For this week's vlog, we decided to just have a kind of a more of a sit-down talk. And we just have a lot of friends who, and people we met along the way who are also independent artists and creators. And they ask us questions and we ask our friends questions. And I think that having a community and being able to talk to people is so important when you're trying to go on this journey. This is just some advice and thoughts that we have about things we wish we knew before becoming independent musicians.
Totally. First thing that we wish we knew or that we wish someone had told us, it costs so much more money than you think. It costs money to make money. It's almost a universal thing in all endeavors you would embark upon. But I think for us, if you're a little kid with a dream, you never think, I should probably have 6 months of my living expenses saved up before I try to make music.
Yeah. You think I'm just going to get in the studio and blah, blah, and this person's going to find you. And that's just not the case anymore. And thankfully with platforms like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, everyone doesn't expect that they're just going to be discovered in a club singing. But I think there still is a lot of mystery and stigma around how to get started as a musician. And I think the biggest thing is you will need money. No one's going to produce songs for you for free. You have to be able to pay for that. Even if you can produce yourself, you're going to have to pay someone to mix it.
Master artwork, which is photography and graphic design. Any kind of visual pairing, in the way of videos, a videographer, an editor, if they don't do both.
I think at the beginning of our journey, we were a little bit shocked by all the costs we were incurring. And we did what a lot of people do, which is we just kind of figured out how to do stuff ourselves. We ended up learning how to take pictures of ourselves. We were okay, we can set up a tripod. She got really good at editing photos. Then for album artwork, from honestly the literal beginning, we were struggling through making our own album artwork just because we couldn't afford someone to make it. And now, thankfully, both of us kind of can do it, and Dani's gotten really good at it, and she does most all of our album covers. And now we've even gone into trying to film our own music videos. If you guys have seen some of our recent videos, been self-shot, and then also if someone else filmed it, then Dani's learned to edit video, which has been great. Things cost money, and what you can't do yourself, you're gonna have to hire out.
What would you say a song from the session to it's out and you want to market the song? Ballpark, what would you say if you were going to pay for someone else to do all of it?
All of it?
What would you drop?
The producer fee in itself could be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000
to
$1,000 for production. Okay. You're gonna have the song mixed and mastered. Bottom line, $500 for that. Then if you want artwork, if you can't do it yourself, graphic design artists might charge you $300 for that. What if you want to use a picture? If you have someone else take a picture, it's going to cost you $200 for a photo shoot. Then that's just to get the song into the world. Now you have to market it. That could cost money on top of that, which luckily we live in the social media age.
A lot of marketing is posting online. Thank goodness. But your time is valuable. So our time that we spend 8 hours a day filming content, that's marketing, So, and we're not paying anyone. Luckily, we're doing it ourselves. But as our audience grows, we want the quality to grow with it. So sometimes it's out of our capability. So we do have to work with other people, and we love doing that. So let's say you pay $2,000 for a marketing campaign for 2 months.
If you do a music video,
that could be $3,000. That is for one song, a 2-month marketing plan, and one social, one big video. If you have an album of 8 to 9 songs, you're looking at upwards of $60,000 for a project.
Now that is ridiculous, and most independent artists don't do that. We all have figured out how to get savvy
to cut corners and figure out how to do things yourself.
Exactly.
Work with friends. Our next thing,
expect to fail.
For this one, for us, was you go into anything thinking it's going to be smooth sailing and perfect outcomes every step of the way. I can't think of any career path that is that way. When you get to the place that you want to go, whether that be the top, whether that be the middle, whether that be somewhere in between, it feels so much better if you know that you overcame obstacles and you overcame challenges, instead of it being smooth coasting. But truly, we don't know anyone in our lives, our families, who have very different career paths than us, that it hasn't been difficult, that they haven't fallen on their faces.
Right.
Because also we've learned, when we did do our own artwork and then 6 months later we were like, that's garbage. We looked at it and we hated it, but we learned from that. So then the next one was a little bit better. And that's all you can expect to do, is every step, every new project, get 5% better.
But you're not going to decide to be an artist, start releasing music, and then 4 months later be a star. Even if you go viral on TikTok, that's just a moment in time. And then all of a sudden you're chasing virality and you're disappointed because the next thing that goes viral, it's all a cycle. So no matter what, even the biggest artists in the world feel like they failed.
Yes.
At some point or not.
So welcome the failure. Don't fight it. Welcome it. If you're prepped for it, it happens. It's still going to hurt because we're human. We don't like to fail. We don't like to get told no. But then it's a little bit easier to get back up. Do it again. Next thing.
I would love, like, both of us would love to just all day, every day, just write songs
Make
and
music.
put them out. Unfortunately, like we said earlier, in an age where you have to be your own photographer, you have to be your own videographer, you have to be your own marketing person, you have to be your own manager, you have to figure out when are these songs going to come out. You have to reach out to producers, you have to schedule yourself. Eventually, you get partners. Like, we're lucky enough to have partners on our team that are great. Those people specialize in what they specialize in. Like, no one's going to care about your career more than you. And I think that leads us into our final point, which is being an independent artist is running a small business. Nobody told me. I didn't sign up for this. They all were like, you should go to music school. And I was like, cool.
We're going to go bebop, bebop.
Yes, and I learned do, re, mi's, but I should have been learning, it could have been so funny.
I knew you were going to fall on your face.
I was learning do, re, mi's, and I should have been learning about the accounting.
Okay, that was okay. That was like a 6. Being a musician in today's age, being an artist, being any sort of creative, honestly, you are an entrepreneur, you are a small business with the hopes of becoming a big business owner. CEO, owner, creator, you are running this ship from start to finish. Like Colton said earlier, as you grow, hopefully your team grows and things are delegated to people that have more of an expertise on what they're doing. In the beginning, the amount of spreadsheets we are in charge of, terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. We went to music school to avoid spreadsheets. Avoid them like the plague. We did not go to school for that. Just the hard truth right now. And honestly, we do love it. Like, as much as we sit here and we're like, oh, it's terrible and spreadsheets, whatever. It's really empowering. It's really empowering to create the future that we want, and we get to plan it out, and we get to budget for it, we get to schedule it, and we're very blessed that we get to make our own schedule. But if you don't go in thinking about a business mindset just as much as you do the creative, in our opinion, we feel like you're going to hit a ceiling.
Yeah. That's one thing I wish we had learned earlier, just about running a small business, and so that we could apply it to what we're doing now. For this video, we've partnered with a nonprofit called Nifty, and we talked to our good friend Josh, who went through the program. We did an interview with him, and we're going to let him explain more about what Nifty is.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Good.
So Josh was actually a part of the Nifty program, and he is an expert on telling you guys exactly what it is. So can you just give us the rundown of, like, your experience with Nifty and what it is?
Yeah. So Nifty, from my perspective, is essentially an organization that helps teach kids, high school students, and even older entrepreneurship. It's like basically a big network of people that work together to teach everything about business, starting your own business or entering the business world. And it's really a area of the world that's kind of like not touched on in standard education. So it's a really great thing. And they provide all sorts of curriculum and resources for students to start their own business, learn everything about business, like I said. So for me, my experience is I joined a course 2 years ago, or 2.5, almost 3 years ago, in junior year of high school, and we used the Nifty curriculum to teach business. And so that was my first experience with Nifty. And then eventually I entered multiple competitions through Nifty after developing my own business concept and pitch. And I ended up progressing all the way to first place in the national competition, which is insane. I still can't believe it happened, but
Amazing.
yeah, that's my experience with them. And all the people at Nifty are amazing, and they value young people's perspective and also learning of business in general. And overall, it's a great organization.
And I think we chatted before we filmed about the fact that, like, being an independent artist and an influencer, and now you're an influencer and a content creator, it's like, that's essentially the same thing as being an entrepreneur. And people don't necessarily think about that, like, especially as a consumer, you're just like, oh, this is an entertaining video, but it is running your own business.
Oh my gosh. And a lot of the side of, I think, content creation, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is sometimes people also think of it as almost like an easy career. And I don't want to put words in it, but they do. They think we sit around and make fun videos all day. And I think shining a light, especially through something like Nifty, to create those skills before you jump into a career of content creation, you kind of get like a first row look into, like, this is not easy. You have to build a business and a brand from the ground up. And I think you talked a little bit to us about some of the skills you learned directly apply to your job and your life as a content creator, right?
I actually wasn't expecting to even be able to make content creation my job until I realized that, like, this is what I'm passionate about. So I pursued it. And when I got to the point where it's my full-time job now, I realized how much one, how much harder it is than people think, but two, how much I learned with Nifty, things like financial literacy and how business works, managing a business, even marketing skills, networking skills was a huge one. Those are all things that I didn't have before I did anything with Nifty or took that course 2 years ago. And all that applies to my day-to-day life every single day. And I learned so much about that whole, like the whole area of business in general.
You're like in these programs with a bunch of other people, right? Like doing kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, there is tons of people within Nifty and even the students that like are still my friends to this day. And even the adults and the people who work for Nifty, they're all just like this insane network of people that you basically get contacts from somebody in like every industry and friends that you'll have for like your whole life at that point, which a lot of times, especially in the entrepreneurship and content creation world or maybe just creative endeavors in general, is like really hard to find your community and find your people. So it provides that for young people, which is it's so valuable. Maybe even the most valuable thing is just having people that you relate to.
You guys are coming up as entrepreneurs together and inevitably will end up probably bouncing off each other and using each other in your endeavors in the future, which is like exactly like what you said, financial literacy, meeting people to interact with and build and learn from their circle of people, and then you bounce off of them and you guys work together in the future. Like that, at least in our opinion, has been like the most successful people we've seen just have the biggest network of people to work with.
So many people from Nifty just hit me up and were like, hey, like if you need help in this area, let me know. Or if you want to do this,
that's amazing.
If you're ever in this city, let me know. They're coming to me just because I'm a part of Nifty. It's like this really big environment.
And it's so cool that you're doing something that is not what people might say like a traditional entrepreneurship lifestyle. And for us, of course, we're like so excited for you because content creation it's so on the rise as like a job for people to do. But I think shining light on the business side of that is exactly what you're doing. And it's so incredible to come from something like Nifty to kind of give you the tools to do that. And it's why you are and will continue to be, in our opinion, so successful with this. It's so cool to see.
When you're building your platform and you're building your community, like in general, you're building a business because it's where you derive your living from. It's where your passion is. And it's the same thing as starting your own business that you love. And it's just, it's crazy because like you said, it's not a traditional path. And especially since I'm not going to college, I'm just doing this thing that I love because I want to I just want to fulfill my want to do this and possibly make it my career, which at this point it is, which is insane to think about. But
it is.
Like a lot of times your passion is like something you don't pursue. It's not your job, or you're scared to do it. People will judge you. Like Nifty kind of makes that like okay, which is really cool to think about.
What's one thing you feel like people wouldn't know about Nifty on the surface, but you think is like a really great thing people should know? Like, I learned this and it really stuck with me, or like, I met this person, it really impacted me.
The first thing that comes to mind when you said I met this person, like part of my first place win came with a mentorship call with Damon John for an hour. So I met him, and that was crazy. The main thing that came from that call is I told him that I have two things that I really like. I really like business, and I want to pursue my business that I obviously could have been successful with if I did it like right whenever it was happening. And then I also like making videos. I like being a content creator. And he just said, whichever thing you're most passionate about is what's going to take you the furthest. So that's one thing that stuck with me from that specific call with Damon John, is I realized that like I've been making videos for longer. I love making videos. I want to build this platform and get the experience and, show people what I love and show them my perspective and everything like that through video content first. And then that will give me the credibility and materials to start my business. Surface level, you probably look at Nifty as just like any other organization or curriculum that teaches kids, but it's so much more than that. Just in general, it's a community of people that care about each other's success and that care about their students and the young people, and they truly do actually value the next generation and the next generation's passions and what they want to do with their life, which really is far and few between. Like not a lot of, especially like even standardized school, like they don't value as much your passion as Nifty does.
You're like such a good testimony to the program, and it's so cool. Thank you for talking with us. Like seriously,
thank you for the compliment, and thank you for having me on. I'm thrilled to even like, I just love collaborating with people, so this is really cool.
Oh my gosh, Josh, thank you so much, seriously, for taking the time to talk with us. Go check out Josh's channel. He's ridiculously talented, and we spent like an hour watching your videos and just like legitimately
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And what you guys are doing is so unique. And like, by the way, your recent song, it's fire. Like it's actually.
Thanks so much. That's so nice.
And the way that you guys like creatively weave like your content into the like, because you watch like I'll watch one of your videos on Instagram, like a reel or whatever.
Yeah.
And I won't expect there to be like this song. It's so perfect.
You really gotta sneak it in there, yeah.
And it's such a unique way of doing it. So
thank you. That means so much coming from you. Seriously, it really does.
As I'm sure you guys can tell after that, Nifty has changed so many lives, but in particular Josh's. We got to talk to him a little bit too off camera and absolutely fell in love with him as a human being and as an entrepreneur and as a creator. He's doing amazing, hilarious, entertaining things. We're so excited to watch his journey continue to grow.
Be sure to check out his videos.
Check out his channel. He's awesome. Nifty is an organization that changes immensely based on donations. So we're only asking here if you guys have a second, if you have $5, if you have a Starbucks cost that you can give to a great organization that is literally giving kids the chance to become entrepreneurs, to pave their own way, to do exactly what we did in all kind of career paths. Consider doing it.
And if you just want to learn more about the program, be sure to check out the link in the description.
Thanks so much for watching.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Possible.
Yeah. Hey! It looks beautiful.
I don't.
Where are the hair and makeup people for this shoot?
Shut up.
Gee, nasty. Would you love me if I offered the smoke? In my garden.